Welcome to the Concise Nethack video about basic character attributes. The Concise Nethack videos show you what you need to know about specific NetHack areas without wasting your time. In this video, I'll show you what you need to know about the character attributes and stats displayed at the bottom of the screen in NetHack. With the exception, you may not have the hit point bar turned on. That's an option called hit point bar that I like. This is the first of two Concise Nethack videos about character attributes. The other video is named Additional Attributes. Many attributes are complicated. In this video, I don't tell you everything about every attribute. I just describe what I pay attention to when I play. You can learn lots more on nethackwiki.com, but be aware those articles are advanced. They do tell you about everything. They're full of details, so the basic strategy can get lost in the weeds. I've tried to make this video like a summary of those articles. But still, this video has a ton of information. You may want to watch it more than once. There are 6 basic attributes in NetHack: strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. When you start a game, these basic attributes are assigned somewhat randomly, but according to your character and your role class. For example, a caveman will probably start with more strength and less charisma than a tourist, for example. These basic attributes can be increased generally up to a maximum of 18, and then they can be boosted above 18 with enchanted armor and rings. Higher attributes mean that you will do better and die less when you play, so you need to know a little about how to increase them. Okay, how do you increase your stats to the maximum? One way is with a potion of gain ability. An uncursed potion of gain ability randomly increases one basic attribute by 1. It won't pick an attribute that's already at the max. It'll pick one of those that are below the max. And then a blessed potion of gain ability will increase all 6 of your basic stats. Also, you can quaff from a magic fountain. That will act just like a blessed potion of gain ability. And if you want the details, you can watch my Concise Nethack video about fountains and sinks. 4 of these basic attributes can be increased by exercise and decreased by abuse. Those 4 are strength, dexterity, constitution, and wisdom. Your intelligence and your charisma cannot be exercised or abused. So let me describe how exercise and abuse happen. Each of those 4 that can be exercised has an exercise counter. It's just a number. And exercising might increment the associated counter, and abuse might decrement that counter. Exercise means doing an action that's considered good for a basic attribute. For example, pushing a boulder 1 step exercises your strength, and reading a spell book exercises your wisdom. Abuse, on the other hand, means doing an action considered bad for a basic attribute. For example, kicking a solid wall can abuse dexterity, and quaffing a potion of booze abuses your wisdom. Then, every 600 to 1,000 turns, an attribute check happens in the background. During an attribute check, attributes with higher positive exercise counters have a chance of increasing by 1, and attributes with lower negative exercise counters have a chance of decreasing by 1. So the bottom line for exercising is do more good stuff and less bad stuff, and your attributes will generally increase over time. Note that you won't be able to completely avoid abuse. So sometimes your attributes will decrease. You can recover from abuse with potions of restorability or by praying at a co-aligned altar. When I say co-aligned altar, I mean if you're a neutral, it means a neutral altar if you're a neutral character, a lawful altar if you're a lawful character, and a chaotic altar if you're a chaotic character. You'll see your alignment there, and I'll talk about that more in my other video. Let's see, before NetHack 3.7, you could apply a unicorn to recover from abuse, but after 3.7, that doesn't apply anymore. All right, let's talk about each of these 6 attributes in more detail. Your strength ranges between 3 and 19, kind of. I'll explain why I said kind of in a minute. This is the only basic attribute that doesn't have a normal maximum of 18. You can see I just started a human caveman, and he started out with a strength of 18/02. Strength, of course, the higher your strength, the better, because greater strength allows you to carry more weight. When you fight, if you're stronger, you hit more often and you do more damage. And it improves several other actions like digging through walls, kicking doors, and escaping from traps. You can increase your strength. You can exercise, as I mentioned above, by doing things like just doing a melee attack against a monster exercises strength. Opening or closing a door that resists exercises your strength, and there are many other ways to exercise strength. You can also increase your strength by eating the corpses of giants, like hill giants, fire giants, and the other giants. You can even eat giant zombie corpses and giant mummy corpses. Don't eat zombies and mummies unless you can immediately apply a unicorn horn, because the zombies and mummy corpses might be tainted, and they can kill you if you can't cure that poisoning. Another way to increase your strength is by eating tins of spinach or tins of giant meat. Note that eating giant corpses can satiate you, and that abuses your dexterity. If you have a tinning kit, it may be better to tin their corpses, but tinning kits are heavy and you might not want to carry one with you all the time. As I said, the highest normal strength is 19, but it isn't displayed as 19. Your strength will increase up to 18 as you would expect, but increases past 18 are displayed with a slash and a percentage of the way to 19. For example, my caveman here is a strength of 18 plus 2% of the way to 19. And a strength of 19 is actually displayed as 18/**. You might say, but I've seen strength 25. Well, if you wear gauntlets of power, then your strength will display as 25, but it isn't actually 25, it's actually 19. But wearing gauntlets of power does provide you with two added bonuses. You can carry even more weight, and you can throw things even further. When your strength increases from exercise, you'll see the message, you must have been exercising diligently. Next, let's talk about dexterity. Greater dexterity allows improvements like greater accuracy. So you hit monsters more often in melee combat, when throwing weapons like daggers, and when casting spells. With greater dexterity, monsters are less likely to hit you, and you can do other things like pick locks and untrap traps more successfully. Some of the ways to exercise your dexterity include hitting a monster with a thrown weapon or picking a lock. When your dexterity is improved from exercise, you see the message, you feel agile. You must have been working on your reflexes. But dexterity is abused every 10th turn that your character is satiated, so you want to try to avoid being satiated where possible. Dexterity can be boosted above 18 by wearing enchanted gauntlets of dexterity. You can see that my character is at 16, so he's almost at the max already. Constitution is next. Greater Constitution lets you carry more weight, and you gain more maximum hit points when you level up, and you heal faster. The main way to exercise your Constitution is simply by not being hungry. That gets exercised every 10th turn that you're not hungry. And you can abuse it by being fainting or overtaxed every 10th turn. When your Constitution is improved from exercise, you see the message, you feel tough. You must be leading a healthy lifestyle. Constitution can be boosted higher than 18 by wearing an enchanted ring of gain Constitution, or by wielding the artifact weapon Ogre Smasher. So that's dexterity. That's Constitution. Let's talk about intelligence. Intelligence is the spellbook attribute. Greater intelligence gives you a better chance of reading a spell book, and greater intelligence gives you a better chance of actually casting a spell, unless you're one of 5 several roles: healer, knight, monk, priest, or Valkyrie. Now, intelligence can't be exercised or abused, but it can be increased. Like all basic attributes, can be increased with potions of gain ability, and also quaffing a blessed potion of enlightenment can increase your intelligence. If you're lucky enough to kill a mind flayer or a master mind flayer, eating that corpse might boost your intelligence. And intelligence can be boosted higher than the maximum of 18 by wearing an enchanted helm of brilliance. All right, wisdom. Wisdom is the spell power attribute. This is your spell power down here, and I'll talk more about that in my additional attributes video. But so greater wisdom improves how fast your spell casting power regenerates after it's used, and also how much power you gain when you level up, how much your maximum power increases when you level up. And if you're one of those 5 special roles, healer, knight, monk, priest, or Valkyrie, you actually need wisdom to successfully cast spells. Some of the ways to exercise your wisdom, just by casting a spell, exercises wisdom. So does zapping a wand, discovering a trap while searching, and even just sacrificing a corpse will exercise your wisdom. But some of the ways to abuse your wisdom include being confused or hallucinating, reading a scroll of amnesia, robbing a grave, and there are many others. When your wisdom is improved from exercise, you see the message, you feel wise, you must have been very observant. A blessed potion of enlightenment not only increases your intelligence, it also increases your wisdom. Wisdom can be boosted higher than 18 by wearing an enchanted helm of brilliance. So the helm of brilliance is great. It boosts intelligence and wisdom. The last attribute I want to talk about in this video is charisma. Charisma is your beauty attribute. Charisma gives you a lower price in shops when you buy things. It gives you more success with Fukubai encounters, and you may want to see my video on Fukubai encounters. You have to be aware of your charisma if you want to be good at price identification in shops, because characters with higher charisma are charged less and offered more in shops. Charisma is the other attribute that can't be exercised or abused. Charisma can be boosted higher than 18 by wearing an enchanted ring of adornment. So that's all I want to cover now. I hope you've enjoyed this Concise Nethack video about the basic character attributes and stats. I invite you to watch the other Concise Nethack videos to learn lots of tips and tricks about playing NetHack.